because you can really tell he's reading his lines versus when he started memorizing it, which I was very surprised he started doing. Sounded better. He had better flow, better feel.
You forced me to memorize them. You remember that?
Yeah.
Because you were like,
don't come in unless you got to memorize.
You pretty much forced me.
Yeah.
We actually had a conversation at the end of one of our sessions one time. I think it was 2015 or 16. And he asked me straight up, he's like, Jeff, what are you trying to accomplish musically? And I told him I wanted to take it, or I told you I wanted to take it straight to the moon. Like, I wanted to push it as far as I humanly possibly could push it. And you're like, well, to do that, you have to take your music seriously. Because if you don't take it seriously, who's going to want to listen to it? You know what I mean? So that's what forced me to start memorizing instead of reading.
Memorizing your lyrics, and then I started forcing you to learning how to count bars out.
That was another fun time. You want to tell them that story?
You tell the story.
So the year was 2020, and it was the end, or it was the height of the pandemic, right? Where no one went outside, no one did anything, no concerts, no shows. So I decided, okay, well, now's a great time to just lock in and focus on rapping and recording, because I had all these unfinished verses. Like, I had one unfinished song here, one unfinished song from 5 years ago that I never recorded. And then I remember it was like March of 2020 at the height of the pandemic, and we were recording, and the verses sounded off. One verse would be like 3 bars short. The second verse would be 4 bars short. Third verse was like 6 bars short. And then you called me in after the session, and I walked in, and you're like, do you know how to count to 4? I think so.
Well, mainly the way I said it, you know how to count your bars out. And what I was trying to explain to you is like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, counting up to 4. And each time you hit that 4, that's 1 bar.
Yeah.
So, and then when you get up to 8 bars or 16 bars, that's usually 16 bars is probably a verse. I said, you need to do your vocal that way. You need to count and do your vocal in time that way. Like, really understanding where your bars are, so your lyrics all fall in the same place. So when you're comping, not moving around, and it's consistent. And that's one aspect of like part of music theory that you didn't have yet. And obviously now you got it down far enough.
I still maintain
studio if you didn't get it.
I still maintain there's not very much music theory in hip hop.
No, there's more than, as far as timing and beat wise, there's more than you think in hip hop.
Well, on trap beats, like Young Jeezy, Gucci Mane type beats, I think they go more for the vibe and the feel of the music than the actual structure and format of the music. Because you can load them up into the DAW, right? And count the BPM, and it comes out to 105.3, or 110.3. And I have a rule that if we load up an instrumental into the DAW and count out the bars, and your instrumental sounds or your instrumental has a BPM that sounds like a radio station, that's not good. No beat should be 105.3, the hip hop hits or something. It should all be perfectly structured and formatted. That's why I go for solid number BPMs, 96.
Yeah, don't reinvent the wheel, dude. You just kind of go with what works. Find your own hook within it. That's what you're doing, man. You're definitely making some headway here. So you're doing good.